Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am.
Nino Brown Boxing, and I'm back in the building. Shout out to the LDBC. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. So I wanted to talk about a topic that I've been seeing floating around. A couple videos made. I've been seeing a lot of people discussing in the comment section, and I just wanted to give my take on it. Now, the particular topic that I'm talking about is my favorite division in boxing, the junior middleweight division, aka the super welterweight division, the 154-pound division. That's what I'm talking about. So, I guess the topic of discussion regarding this division, it is, people are asking the question, is Jarrett Hurd ducking Jermell Charlo? Now, I can see, honestly, how a person can believe that that is the case, but me, I like to take things into perspective. And what I mean by that is, for the simple fact, people seem like they're taking issue with the fact that Jarrett Hurd said that he wants to fight Kell Brook or a right-handed fighter before he fights Jermell Charlo. Now, if this was a Jarrett Hurd that just fought a Liam Smith for the WBA belt, or Jarrett Hurd that fought like an Ishe Smith prior to unifying with Aristotle Lara, if this was a Jarrett Hurd that everyone felt that he was extremely technical fighter and he didn't have many holes in his game, then I could understand. But this is a Jarrett Hurd that majority of the people that are saying that he's ducking, those are the same people that doubted him when he fought Austin Trout. Those are the same people that doubted him when he fought Aristotle Lara. Shit, a good amount of them doubted him when he fought Tony Harrison. Now, my whole issue with all of this is, Jarrett Hurd, he's a unified champion. He didn't have that IBF belt for an extremely long time. We gotta take that into consideration. Even after he won that title, a lot of people had him as an underdog against Austin Trout. We all know Jarrett Hurd has his flaws. We all know that Jarrett Hurd is honing his skills. I mean, just based off of his style alone, we should all, at this point, the whole ducking notion, at this point in Jarrett Hurd's career, should be completely eliminated. I mean, when you look at the 154-pound top guys, Jarrett Hurd has faced the best competition simultaneously that anyone at that division can face. Like, if you backtrack and you look at him facing Aristotle Lara, he faced Austin Trout, and he faced Tony Harrison. Now, we all know style makes fights, and stylistically, all three of those guys are a problem for Jarrett Hurd. Someone that everyone says he gets hit way too much. All three of those guys are accurate punchers. All three of those guys have great lateral movement. All three of those guys have a superior boxing IQ compared to Jarrett Hurd. So with someone that has put himself in back-to-back stylistic nightmares, the fact that you would say that he's ducking because he wants to fight Kell Brook first, when it's not like he's trying to fight Ishe Smith. I mean, according to Boxer, Kell Brook is a third-ranked welterweight. Yeah, I know it's bullshit, but at the end of the day, if he fights Kell Brook in the States, if he fights Kell Brook abroad, I mean, we got to kind of put this thing in perspective. You already know how the whole Eddie Hearn thing is going with his streaming network. Kell Brook will be a part of that. I mean, you have the Charlos themselves willing to talk to Eddie Hearn. We all know Eddie Hearn needs to put on fights. Now, with the whole DAZN thing, if Jarrett Hurd is willing to fight, if he's willing to fight Kell Brook on DAZN, why not take that fight? I mean, why not take it? To me, it really doesn't make sense. But another thing is, I want to talk about Jermell Charlo when it comes to this matter. I truly believe Jermell Charlo and Jarrett Hurd, they both want to unify. I don't think they have any problems with it. It's just kind of weird to me that you can say that Jarrett Hurd is ducking, but don't take any issue with the fact that Jermell Charlo is fighting his brother's leftovers and Jarrett Hurd's leftovers and Austin Trout. And it may sound fucked up, and I can't say it in a respectful way, but I meant, like, no disrespect to Austin Trout. I'm just speaking the reality. You know, Jermell Charlo, he wants to fight Austin Trout. And I mean, I don't have any problem with that, but you know, this is Austin Trout, like right after his Jarrett Hurd loss in October, he came back in February and fought an 8-rounder on a Devin Alexander Victor Ortiz on the card. Like a fact that I didn't even know about until a few months back. But I mean, come on now. It's just, to me, it's not fair to say that one guy is ducking when the other guy, why not fight Laura? Why not, if you're going to fight somebody, why wouldn't Jermell Charlo say, oh yeah, I want to fight Laura? Jarrett Hurd fought him. Laura is a top 5 junior middleweight. You got Kell Brook at number 3. So, I mean, at this point, Jermell Charlo could have gave anyone a shot. He could have gave a Julian Williams a shot that been on the winning streak. I mean, last I checked, you had a guy like Austin Trout. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Austin Trout lost to Jarrett Hurd, Jermell Charlo. He won that 8-round fight, and I think then his next fight would be Jermell Charlo. Like in his last 3 fights, if I'm not mistaken, he has more losses than he has wins. So I mean, you still got you have plenty of other guys in the division that you can fight. Now the whole Erickson Lubin situation, a lot of people say Erickson Lubin was a young guy and he stood no chance. That was a first-round knockout. I mean, me personally, I wanted to see Jermell Charlo come back right after that, but he didn't. I mean, prior to that, he destroyed Charles Hatley. To me, someone at the 154 pound that ain't really shit, but he got that title shot because of Don King, if I'm not mistaken. Jermell Charlo hasn't had an extremely tough boxing schedule. Jermell Charlo, you know, he was talking about unifying. He was talking about his willingness to fight Erislandy Lara, but he didn't make it happen. That's my thing. Jarrett Hurd made it happen. So I feel like if Jarrett Hurd wants to fight a Kell Brook, someone, yes, his face is broken, he's beaten, he's battered. We know this. But at the same time, it's not like Kell Brook is some absolute slouch. He's not the Ishe Smith of the division. So it could be about money. It could be about the fact that he wants to adjust back to fighting orthodox fighters. Like I've read comments of people saying like, oh well, why does he have to adjust? Like it's just weird that people ask questions like, well, why does Hurd have to adjust to fighting an orthodox fighter at the same time they talk about how flawed he is? I mean, the guy didn't have some like extremely long amateur career. At this point, he's learning on the job. He's a unified champion, and he's had the toughest fights at the 154 pound division compared to any of the top guys. Tougher than Laura, because Laura was fighting. He was fighting a mediocre opponent on that card with all of the junior middleweights when Hurd fought Trout and Laura was the main event, and Jermell Charlo was fighting Erickson Lubin. It's just I can't shit on the guy or call the guy a ducker that has been facing the toughest competition in the division. We could throw any excuse out there for anybody else or why they didn't fight this and why they didn't fight that. I say shit. Austin Trout got his ass beat. He got stopped for the first time in his career back in October, and he got back in the ring in February. So it's November, December, January, 4 months. 4 months. Austin Trout took 4 months off. He got back in the ring in February. So with Jermell Charlo getting a first round knockout, I truly believe that it would have been possible for him to put a fight together. With the relationship he has with Erislandy Lara, he said that the willingness that he had to fight him, even though I know Jermell Charlo was like, if that fight happens, he got to clear that fight, and it wasn't going to happen, blah, 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 this and blah, blah, that. I mean, I know they twins or whatever, but at the same time, Jermell Charlo not signing Jermell's checks. So, if he really wanted that unification bad enough, it could have happened, but it didn't. So, once again, I don't think it's fair to shit on the guy that's had the toughest schedule in that division just because he wants to fight Kell Brook. When you had Jermell Charlo to destroy a much weaker Charles Hatley, and he knocked out pretty much just a young guy in boxing in the first round. Obviously, we didn't know the outcome, but last I checked, you make your next fight once the current fight you're fighting in is complete. And once Erickson Lubin got stopped in that first round, it could have been another fight drawn up and put on the table. And it wasn't. It's just simple as that. So, real talk, I don't have a problem with Jermell Charlo fighting Austin Trout, even though Austin Trout is coming off of an 8th round unanimous decision that no one seems to be talking about. Prior to that, he's coming off a loss. And then, if I'm not mistaken, he was either one fight between. He's coming off a loss between Jermell Charlo. Can't take an issue with Jarrett Hurd. At the end of the day, call a duck when a guy says that he is going to fight him and now he's reneging like Anthony Joshua. Jarrett Hurd is saying that he wants to fight Kell Brook prior to him fighting Jermell Charlo. Now, the moment Jarrett Hurd says, oh, yeah, I fought Kell Brook, but this and but that, especially if the guy's not coming off of any injury, or Jermell's not coming off any injury, or no one's, drug tests are all good. After that situation, now if that happens, yeah, it's a duck. But I'm not going to label the guy that had the toughest schedule, the toughest fight back to back to back in the division, multiple championship fights, multiple tough competition stylistically. I'm not going to call him a ducker. But that's just my take on the guys. It's Nino Brown Boxing. Shout out to the LDBC, and I'm out.